This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. This is an ongoing show where we talk a little bit about everyone's favorite MOBA-style battle game. We got some interesting news this week. A lot of it...
Red speculation, a lot of talk about they want to do.
Yeah, not a whole lot that they are doing at the moment. We're just coming off the tail end of the Lunar Festival. So there's not a whole lot in the on the servers right now, guys, other than what we've talked about. But there's some stuff in the pipes. I'm going to go ahead and go forward with that. First and probably most interesting, we've got a lot of visual updates, reworks, and tinkering in the pipes, particularly with Sion, Karthus, and Kassadin. We've got a lot of cool and fun red posts to talk about, as well as the icon that we unlocked on the tail end of the Lunar Festival.
First off is the Lunar Festival icon. It is all based on where you live and where you play. So for us, in the North America server, we got the new Diana. Or the new Diana icon.
The lunar goddess.
Lunar goddess Diana. I think it's Wisdom, I think it is. And so there's a cool chart they have on the main page, and you can see which icon went to which area. So everybody's going to get that for free. There is talk about having that icon have a special little horse symbol in the corner, showing that that's the one that we've unlocked
and
for free.
It's, it's the year of the horse.
Year of the horse.
To stand out as something a little bit better, especially if they decide to release these next Lunar Festival as icons that are unlockable. And so they want people to see that it was this particular one that happened to come out for that area for that year.
And it looks like you're going to be able to buy the other two icons with RP if you want to complete the set. Because it looks like on this map, nobody voted for Riven. There's not a single area covered in the...
Wow, that's riveting.
Oh, no. Bad.
Moving away from the Lunar Festival, like we said earlier, possible reworks on the way. They said they have 4 in the pipes right now. They can't reveal all of them, but in particular, they talked about Sion and Karthus are definitely getting some visual updates, and Kassadin himself is getting some visual tweaks, some particle updates.
So it looks like Kassadin's not going to get a full visual update like everybody's been hoping for, but they're upgrading his visuals a bit to kind of keep up par, because right now some of his effects look like...
old.
Yeah. They look
I mean, Kassadin's always one that sort of had a unique look to him with the cool nether blade and the...
I like that effect, though, how...
teleporting.
Yeah, I like how the blade looks like that there's a static image where his blade is, and where, depending on where the blade is, it's masked, so it looks like it's looking into another dimension, not like the blade is moving with him. I like that visual. It feels like it's
it fits his character. It fits his character very well.
Hopefully that stays.
Yeah, and so I don't mind them updating his particle effects. Kassadin's always had this otherworldly look to him. Definitely think he could do with a visual update. I mean, it wouldn't hurt him any, as long as they kept the spirit of him alive, but that's cool.
Sion, make him a woman.
Yeah, Sion obviously needs a total update. Very old, very clunky character, and his kit needs a lot of attention. So that's good. Karthus,
he's in the pre-created stage, so he's like at the very, very beginning of the visual update.
Karthus is really awesome with what he does. He's one of my favorite characters, but the look of him aesthetically is very bad. It's not good. It's not fun to look at. It's very, very rigid and boring.
Do you like a static image when you freeze, like in game? Sometimes,
yeah, seriously, you barely do anything, and half your animations involve your character locking up for a half second, then going through another animation. It's kind of goofy.
If you have enough cooldown reduction and you're sitting there casting your spell, like you could see him
around. It's really funny.
It's really bad.
But hopefully we'll see those sometime within the next couple of months, and it'll definitely be a nice little event for me in particular, especially if Karthus comes out sooner rather than later.
There's a lot of really cool stuff that they talked about. It's a large post, and we're not going to go through all of it, but kind of community, talk about what they want from Sion, what kind of feeling they're trying to get for him. And the main thing they wanted to keep was a very murderous creature that is half living and half machine, that even if you get rid of him, he'll be back. And that's kind of cool that they're going to kind of keep that theme of he's like this murderous rampaging guy, because that's his main draw and his main lore is
and hopefully he'll have some ties to Garen, because Garen's the one that killed him, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll see some cool rivalry going there.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool if they kind of weaved Urgot into it too, kind of like how Urgot was the one that brought him back. That'd be cool.
Very interesting stuff. Definitely tons that they could do with it.
A lot of other Red posts, one of them talked about how they're trying to get feedback on what people want to see if Summer's Rift is updated in one way, shape, or form. A lot of the stuff is like, update the graphic quality, kind of, add some more scaling, more particles going on through the map. A lot of people wanted to keep the fairy tale theme of the map going on, and that's something I kind of agree on, but at the same time, it's like, do more with it.
League has a very unique visual style amongst MOBAs, as kind of this cartoony, fascinating fantasy realm, wherein, you see stuff like, the glowing eyes in the bushes, or the very simplified trees just looming overhead, and the big blue and red wolves coming out, So getting too crazy and too detailed like that will really kind of break away from aesthetically what we're used to. So I think there is definitely room for improvement. I mean, you've seen the way they've done some visual updates while keeping in the spirit of the game, and they could do that with the map. They've just got to keep in mind what their audience is and what everything else looks like.
Yeah, because you can go too far, and kind of bringing an example of this is the new Dota lunar event going on right now. They have a lot of fireworks constantly going off whenever you move by them. That's going way too far, and it's really obnoxious and annoying. So hopefully they know the balance between having way too many effects, way too things going on, opposed to not enough stuff going on. Because having small things like Earth popping up out of a grave every now and again, fine, doesn't hurt the game. It's kind of funny. But having things constantly going off and giving away your position is pretty bad.
I mean, people are playing a game. They're not watching a show. So you need to build a map with more of performance in mind than of aesthetic quality.
Yeah, Easter eggs are good, but ones that...
Easter eggs are good if you're looking at a carton, not if they're being thrown at your head.
You're an idiot.
But after that, guys, not a ton left. There's some visual tweaks to Ashe and her upcoming Valentine's skin. And the new skins for the Olympics are coming up very, very, very soon.
Don't you mean the skins that have been out since last Winter Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a Winter Olympic skin for 4 years. For 4 years!
I started playing right after event. I remember that.
And, this was probably the second, third, and fourth skins that I got. I got Union Jack Fiddles. I got
Vancouver Mumu.
I got Vancouver Mumu, and I got the
Curling Vagar.
Yes, I did get the Curling Vagar.
I remember your skins better than you do.
Yes, you do. But those were my second, third, and fourth skins, because I had Pharaoh Mumu before then. And I don't know, I was really happy with them, and it's always just a badge of honor that I have. And now, just seeing them
ripped apart,
I don't know, they're not good skins.
No,
they're not good skins.
They show the sign of the times.
Vancouver Mumu is the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen in my life, but it's mine. Okay. So I've been dreading this for a while, but people want a shot at him, let him have it, I guess. I knew it was coming. It's not like it's a surprise. I can still be grumpy about it, but oh well. Winter Olympics, let him have it. But so it goes.
Yeah, we don't know the prices of these skins. They're probably going to be the same.
Maybe cheaper.
Maybe they're like, wow, we did not put any effort into these back in the day.
Yeah, Union Jack Fiddles was $9.75.
Wow!
And
you're gonna get a refund for $9.75 per thing.
Goody.
So that's at least a plus with all the pain. And
I guess so.
Some other stuff that they were talking about. A lot of people asking questions about the visual reworks and stuff like that. And one interesting they came up with, someone mentioned a canceled champion named Omen. And I can't remember. I can't pull up the post right now. I can't find it again. But they were talking about how a nightmare this champion was going to be. He was going to be a stealth 80 carry that shot spikes out of his mouth from the void. And he was also supposed to be a jungler. And they said it was just the worst thing ever to deal with. And it was just kind of watching everybody kind of read about and say, okay, I can see why this champion's not coming back. And now, with the void champions we do have, it feels like this Scorpion-type champion would kind of be a mix of a Cho'Gath and Skarner. So we have two champions that kind of already exist that would have been put together and it looked like a copy. So I can see why at this point they wouldn't.
That's true. But, I mean, there's a lot of League characters that kind of feel similar, so...
Vi and Caitlyn.
Vi and Caitlyn?
Yeah.
They play similar?
No, they feel similar. They don't play similar.
I'm thinking more like Garen and Darius.
Okay.
Or maybe something like, I don't know, Karthus and Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that's like the biggest one I can think of. So, yeah.
There's a lot that kind of play similar.
And at this point, with the Void Champion that's coming up, I think that's a better option. One-eyed laser beam shooting monsters or...
We'll see how it goes. I mean, there might be a future for Omen, just maybe not in that form.
One final thing we have is actually an announcement about a new League gameplay update. And what this is a rank skip, essentially. And the post says, players who consistently win against opponents at a full tier higher than their current placement will automatically skip their promotion series as they progress to the next division. Series skipping will be possible up until Platinum 1.
Now, guys, keep in mind, this is within a tier. So if you're in Bronze 2, you can skip up
to Bronze 1 automatically if you're beating people in that rank.
Yes. But you can't go from, like, let's say, Bronze 1 to Silver
5.
4 or 5 if you're beating from people from that one. So it is within a tier.
It makes the process getting up to the final promotion match of a series
quick if you're good. Or if you get lucky, as a lot of us would argue.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think this is a decent change. It'll definitely help filter you through things quicker. I'm not sure if they're going to do the same thing for dropping down tiers.
I don't think they're trying to progress the people that are doing well up, and they're going to try to keep it so lowering is relatively the same. So hopefully it's not like, oh, you're losing to a bunch of bronze, back to bronze, but I was in diamond. Too bad.
But I don't know. We'll have to see how it works in game. It's somewhat difficult to gauge just in a sterile environment like this. Ranked has always been kind of a weird place to be. But I don't know. I think it'll be good, but it might just end up catapulting a lot of people up to higher ranks, and we'll start running out of people in lower ranks if this goes as I think it might. But we'll have to see if it's good in practice.
Because I've had a lot of problems getting to the promotion series, and I've looked at people I've been beating. I've been fighting at silvers and stuff like that, so I should have been able to get to my promotion series faster if this new rule was in effect then. So it's going to be helpful.
Indeed.
One other thing involving tournaments and leagues and all that stuff is they have a new set of rules in beta right now, and so what they're doing is they're looking for people to help test these rules to see if they're up to standards for tournament play.
Exploiting is the best exploiting.
So, yeah, everybody's like, well, why are you testing rules? Well, rules aren't useful.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Exactly. So, hopefully there's one about cheating and looking at the maps right above your head, all that stuff. But we'll see how that goes. We'll update when there's a full list and anything that really stands out as far as these new rules. But as people that don't watch the tournament so much, I don't think I'd really notice much.
Yeah, I mean, the rules and the players that use them, I mean, they're usually pretty flexible, and it's based on practicality and just being a good person, so I can't imagine it's just a big deal.
Yeah.
But move on to our own section here. We got a question from Master12. He says, do you guys believe some of the champions that are not used in tournaments are still strong enough to be played in ranked? Or do we need to still use the same characters in all of our ranked matches?
Well, what happens is a lot of people don't think for themselves and use their own judgment on champions. They base themselves solely on what the pro players play and a lot of high-up metagame tiers and stuff that people have set for themselves and other people as kind of a reference and take it too seriously. This happens in any sort of competition out there. Card games, League, any sort of competition like Warhammer. There's metagames for any sort of game out there that people just base themselves wholly on, and that's where things come by.
And it is pretty predominant. You'll see it a lot. But the thing about it is, League is so big. It's so big. There are so many people playing League, and it's so saturated with people that strategies spread like wildfire. So if playing Darius or Aatrox or whoever top becomes, in people's minds, the strongest things, then there's going to be one top in, between 40 and 60% of games. So even someone who doesn't watch tournaments, doesn't read any literature about it,
but
doesn't study the metagame, they will still see it enough to have it in their mind that he is such a good pick top, he is always top.
And that's the thing. When that person plays top all the time, you start seeing it often, people start finding counters for it to stop it. And then that's where the metagame counter game comes from, is because you see a huge pick often, we have to find a way to shut that down, so I have an advantage.
And then they have to find a way to shut that down, and then it just goes back and forth. So there's just so much exposure, because a lot of people that play League, they usually play at least once a day, maybe even twice. I mean, that's an hour and a half to 2 hours. And so that's not a big investment, but you get enough consistency there, and I don't know, there's enough social media there as well that, I don't know, you're just going to see it. So should other characters be able to play in ranked? Definitely. Yes. I played Garen top in ranked for so much time. I played Karthus mid for so much time. I played Vhagar mid and Talon mid when they were unpopular. And look, I did just fine. So there is a place for them. I mean, people who usually just follow the same strategy, they're not playing them because they know how to play them. They're playing them because they're good. And so there are ways around that.
And I go into a game, and I don't think, well, because this champion is good, I'm going to go in there. As a support player, I find a champion that complements what a player picks and what's good against an opponent. So someone comes in with a champion that works well with, say, Nami. I pick Nami. If I can't pick Nami, I find what the next best champion is to supplement that champion. I pick what is a good complement for the team. As someone that goes mid, I pick a champion I'm comfortable with outside of what is good. I go into ranked games as Brand. It's scary because everybody's like, oh, you're playing Brand against Cat? And I'm like, yeah, because as soon as she starts spinning, I light her on fire, ult her, and then I stun her. So it's... I go in with what I'm comfortable with, and I'm not afraid to, experiment with. Because the character you're comfortable with, you'll be able to make better plays than something that is good. And we've also seen strategies come out like Gragas. For a while, Season 1... Who played Gragas?
Well, they're nerfing him now. So.
Yeah, Season 2, who played Gragas? Season 3, best champion in middle.
And then they nerfed him.
To the ground.
To the ground.
And then underneath the ground, they...
But it's okay. Ahri.
We will always have Ahri.
Let's buff Ahri some more. I hate that character so much. I hate her.
Alright, who's next? Ahri. We know we'll have a good anime group that will love her.
Mm-hmm. But that's it for questions this week, guys. We're kind of running a short show today, but we didn't get a ton of questions, and it's all right. We do try to answer at least 2 every week when it's an optimal week, but we're running a little bit quick here. So we love questions is what I'm trying to say. If you have a question for us about the show, about League of Legends, about gaming in general, about anything really, we're happy to hear it. You can ask us how we're doing. You can ask about our grandparents. You can ask about the viability of certain AP-AD hybrids in the current game. You can ask about anything, really. We'd love to answer it. But you can send that question in. Just type it in the comment section down below the little YouTube here. You can send it to our email. It's bestgaming@gmail.com. Or post it on our Facebook page. All those links are down below here if you want to check them out. But I believe that's it for the show today. You've got a video in production. I've got some footage that we're clipping together. Cool stuff is happening.
Trying to get some more Hex updates. I'm thinking about kind of doing what we do with this show and then turning into Hex, where every time there's a major update, we go through it, see what we like, what we dislike, because trying to get games going and trying to build decks and stuff like that, I'm not able to do.
Because there's so much variance in how card games can be played, the difference between getting good footage and bad footage can be decided in one turn. And when you've got games of Hex lasting upwards of 20 to 40 minutes...
And I'm thinking a lot. And it's hard to commentate while you're thinking. You're sitting there, your opponent takes a long time, and you're just like...
There's not a lot of draw in Hex right now. There's not a lot of deck acceleration unless you're playing green or white. So every other deck, you really have to think about what cards you're playing. It's kind of a drag right now. But
we'll find something to get some more consistent updates for it. Hopefully, if we do a secondary kind of video podcast, like Hex, or if we just kind of do like patch breakdowns every now and again, or just in general we sit down, we talk about a deck that we like and cards that we enjoy. So.
Indeed. But that's it for this episode, guys. This has been Axis.
And Water Elemental.
And it is cold and snowy, and my car sucks.